All right, so the most common question I get when you guys reach out to me, whether it's text, email, or phone call, is what are the best neighborhoods around Wilmington, North Carolina? And so this video is another rendition of the best neighborhoods in the area. We're going over a couple of them, and at the end, we're going over a banger neighborhood that is up and coming. It's still relatively new, and there's more lots that you can build on right on the Cape Fear River. Let's get into it. All right, so kicking it off, we have the awesome neighborhood of Easton Mason. This is a brand new master plan community that is going to offer a really cool kind of old school farmhouse and new shore mixed clubhouse with a nice 6-lane pool that really just blends in with the community. The homes start in the 500s and they go up to about 1.35 million. So there's a couple of retail home sites available on the backside of the community toward the sound that are in the million plus range. There's a couple that are offered for 1.05, 1.1, 1.35 that you can buy, and basically you're buying that site, but also that home that they built. Now, there are custom homes that you can go on the website, you can choose your model, and you can build on any of the sites that are available throughout the community. But beautiful floor plans, beautiful homes, and you'll see, you know, in the drone footage here, just the curb appeal that these homes have in this community. That and they're situated right in Masonboro, which is close to the courtyard, it's close to Masonboro Station, close to all of the amenities that you could ask for, and the Masonboro Marina. It's only a 10-minute drive to Wrightsville Beach, and then super close to Masonboro Island as well, and all of the waterways to take any of your boats out, like kayaks or some of your smaller boats into, you know, the canalways or the sound. This neighborhood is very walkable, and it's pretty compact, so you're not going to be walking too far if you want to go to the clubhouse or bring your kiddos to the pool or whatever you want to do, which also brings me to the point that a lot of this is pretty maintenance free. With the smaller yards and stuff, you're not going to be caring after your lawn as much as you would in some of these bigger developments with bigger lots, which, you know, is a turn on for some people and a turn off for some people. But on the other side, you do have the villas, which are basically attached homes, more like townhouses. They call them paired homes, where it's two houses right next to each other, joined at the garage basically, but still a very nice home. And those are starting in the 500s. The thing about those is you don't have a lot of the maintenance, exterior maintenance, yard maintenance, that kind of thing, which makes it nice for young professionals or people just that don't have, you know, a lot of time to care for their house or their yard, or for those of you that are retirees and you're looking for a very low maintenance without giving up too much of your lifestyle, or, you know, too much house so you can still entertain and do that kind of thing. It's a perfect option for you. Once again, that's starting in the 500s, and it does offer very minimal maintenance. And before I move on to the next one, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time I drop a new video. And if you like this kind of video, certainly let me know, and let me know what kind of, what neighborhood in the comments that you want me to do a video on. More than happy to overview that for you. But moving on to the next neighborhood. All right, next up we have Windward Oaks. Windward Oaks is a very stately neighborhood comprised of some historic looking custom homes and some newer custom homes as well. You know, throughout the neighborhood, as you're driving down the street, you'll notice a bunch of oak trees and magnolia trees just lining the streets with Spanish moss hanging over. Very southern feeling. These homes range anywhere from about 600,000 up to about 1.2 million, and some are probably going to break that 1.2 here this coming year. It is a highly coveted area and neighborhood, and there's not much that comes for sale, and when it does, it typically will sell over asking price. One was just sold. It was on the market for 1.1 million, and it sold for 1.135, so 35,000 over asking price. That's just a representation of how sought after this neighborhood is. You do tend to get bigger lots in this neighborhood, typically over half an acre to about an acre or so. If you're on the further end of the neighborhood, you are going to get that acre. But if you're somewhere in the middle, it is going to be closer to that half acre. But a lot of these houses do have little courtyards where they, decorate with flowers or little tables and seating and that kind of thing, or hidden garages in the actual courtyard itself, making this neighborhood pretty private as you get into it, right? There's a lot of houses in the neighborhood, but it is really private with how many trees there are and the mature landscaping. Now, there is a HOA, and they take care of the stormwater management and some of the landscaping of the common areas, but it's really not that expensive for the neighborhood that you actually get. As far as the location of Windward Oaks, it's close to Masonboro Island. It is in the area of Masonboro, and it's close to the Pine Valley Country Club and some other waterways that you can drop your kayak or small boat into. But once again, it is close to pretty much everything that Wilmington has to offer. It's a short drive to historic downtown. It's a short drive over into Hampstead or going into Topsail Island, that area. And then once again, it's even closer to Carolina or Curie Beach or Masonboro Island. There's playgrounds and things to do sprinkled throughout the area as well. So no matter what you're looking for, you're going to get to it relatively quickly. Once again, there's no amenities in this neighborhood other than, the upkeep of the common areas. But with larger lots and so much going on nearby, you're not going to have any issues with any of that stuff. And the last thing I want to point out about this neighborhood is whether 55 plus or a younger family, this is an active neighborhood. You'll see tons of people walking up and down the streets with their dogs or with their kids. When I was out today, there was a young family that was out, taking their kids for a walk, and as well as just some other people walking their dogs. So the neighborhood is very, very safe, and it's very friendly and active as well, which makes it good for just about everyone, whether you're a retiree or a young family. All right, moving on, the next neighborhood is Forest Hills. Forest Hills is really, really close to historic downtown. In fact, it's like 2 neighborhoods away from historic downtown. It's one of those neighborhoods that really represents the history that Wilmington has to offer with these large estates, brick estates, and, big historic homes in the area. There's a lot of oak trees, magnolia trees, and Spanish moss lined streets, and there is a combination of these big colonials, Victorians, and then also some ranches, and then everything in the middle. The price range in this neighborhood is literally all over the map, but the majority of them being in that $750,000 to about $1.3 million range. So, if you're interested in some historic properties, right? Something that gives you some of that historic charm, and it's not like a cookie cutter house, that kind of thing. This is definitely going to be a neighborhood that you're going to be interested in just because of the style of home. It is a pretty private neighborhood simply because of all of the trees, but it is right in the middle of everything as well. You have Market Street on one side, you have Wrightsville Ave on the other. So, there's a lot going on in the area, but when you're tucked away in Forest Hills, you really don't feel like there's anything outside of you. It's literally just your piece of, heaven right there. It's super quiet. And with all the trees and the Spanish moss and that kind of thing, you just feel like you're in your own little oasis. Some of these properties do have really large lots, like an acre, which is unheard of in the city. However, the majority of them are smaller lots. You're looking at like 0.3 acres, 0.2 acres, that kind of thing. But once again, there is a few that are kind of grandfathered in, so to speak, that have those really, really large lots, but you will be paying that premium for those houses, like in the 1.2, 1.3 range. And it goes without saying, but these houses are going to require a little bit more upkeep because they are older homes. And, the shingles are different than, what they make today. Some of them are slate and that kind of thing. So it is a different kind of upkeep that is required for these homes versus some of the newer homes that I've been showing you guys in this video or previous videos. And I think at this point it goes without saying, but this neighborhood being in the middle of just about everything, the proximity to the stores and things to do, you can't beat it. Honestly, you could go and walk to the grocery store, grab your groceries and walk back if that's something you wanted to do. But the streets are very family friendly, so there's a lot of families walking the streets. There's a lot of runners running the streets, so it's very safe. It does sort of back up to another neighborhood that, not that it's a dangerous neighborhood by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a different neighborhood and it's a different demographic. So you will see a lot of separation in these two neighborhoods. So people that are running the streets will block out, their run, and they try and stay on their side of the neighborhood. Something I would sort of like to see go away, but I don't think that it's going to happen just given the circumstances and whatnot. But that is sort of the difference between the two neighborhoods. You have some $100,000 houses in one neighborhood, and then you have, $500,000 and up houses in a neighborhood literally on the other side of the street. So it makes for an interesting dynamic, but the streets nonetheless are extremely safe. There's a lot of runners, a lot of walkers, that kind of thing. So, whatever you're trying to do in the area, you're going to be able to do with no issues whatsoever. All right, and next up on the list is River Lights. River Lights is its own community, and it's basically like its own town inside of Wilmington. It's located along the Cape Fear River, and that's really where it gets a lot of its charm from. A lot of these houses are situated along the Cape Fear River, which have some water views and access. There's a little marina along Cape Fear River where you can go and take some of the walking trails and go fishing, or just go and sit on some of the community benches. And there are fire pits alongside of those trails as well. There are community lakes with fountains that give it sort of this upscale feel within the neighborhood, even though it's not as upscale as you would really think in terms of price. So there are $1 million plus homes. However, there are homes that start in the 300,000s, the high 300,000s, and then into the fours. The majority of these homes are in the 650 to 700 range. And obviously that's all dependent on the square footage and the finishes of the house. There's a number of builders in the community that offer a wide range of floor plans, and you can go on the River Lights website and check out some of the floor plans. And if you're interested in building, then you can go and sort of choose those floor plans and let the builder know some of the customization that you want in those floor plans for the lot. This community does offer a really big and nice clubhouse, a pool, and walking trails, running trails, that kind of thing. It also offers a restaurant and shops in the very beginning of the community. There is Marina Village, which offers some of those shops, a couple cafe-like restaurants, and it does have an indoor golfing facility as well. So if you're interested in golfing, the community doesn't have a golf course, but it does have indoor golfing, which is pretty cool. And the restaurant is called Smoke on the Water. And from what I hear, it's a very, very good restaurant. Offers a wide variety of drinks, cocktails, and then a ton of seafood, as well as some other like American fare. Just some good Southern eating. But the community does have its own 55 and over community called Del Webb. It is its own little section on the side of River Lights, and it does come with its own clubhouse, pool, pickleball, tennis courts, that kind of thing. So River Lights does have something for everybody. When I was there just taking some of this footage, you can see along the trails how many people are out and about walking around the community trails. There are walking paths all throughout the neighborhood and literally throughout the entire community. And so if you wanted to walk from your house to Smoke on the Water or a couple of the shops or to the marina or, some of the community fire pits, it's totally doable. It is a very big area. So, if you're not too much in shape, it's obviously, it's a big area. So it's a far way to walk. But with that said, it does offer something for everybody. So River Lights being from, really about $400,000 upwards of $1 million, depending on the floor plan and the finishes. I will provide the link down below for some of those floor plans and the builders. And one of the best parts about River Lights is the proximity into Wilmington, whether it's historic downtown, whether it's Masonboro Island, or getting over into like Ogden, Porter's Neck area, or even just down to Carolina Beach. It's an extremely easy commute to get to just about anywhere you want it to go. Like I said, it's close to historic downtown. It's close to the airport. It's close to Masonboro Island, and it's right along the Cape Fear River. So wherever you're trying to go, you're not going to be, too frustrated with that drive, and the traffic really isn't that bad going any which direction that you're trying to go. If you're interested in this neighborhood or building in the neighborhood, certainly hit us up. We can get you, some incentives and some closing cost assistance, that kind of thing. If you're looking to build, we do have relationships with the builders and they offer incentives. So with that said, we can help you in that regard. But if you guys are interested in any of the neighborhoods that we discussed today, feel free to shoot me a text message, a phone call, or an email at the number and email address provided. I am the one that responds to those. I would love to earn your business and help you guys make a smooth move. But until the next video, guys, peace. We'll see you later. Bye.